Dakota Coal and Basin are very proud, and we're very fortunate to have this long-standing relationship that we have with North American Coteau property staff. And while we're very appreciative, and their knowledge and vision is so important to us, I believe one of the most important things is they understand the cooperative model, the person at the end of the line. It's actually part of their culture at the Freedom Mine.
We think of ourselves as a service company. That's what we do. We cannot be successful here if we don't supply good quality coal of the quantity that's needed by the three basin facilities. It will allow them to operate more efficiently, and also so that they have lower electricity prices, lower syngas prices, and lower coal product prices. We have four main coal quality parameters that we deal with. It's the sodium, the sulfur, the ash, and the BTUs. The real key to this is the every other week coal quality meetings that we have here at Coteau. We have staffs from LOS, AVS, DGC all come to the mine along with the Coteau staff, and they talk about what the coal quality has been for the last 2 weeks, what's been good, what hasn't been quite as good. We understand this is very critical to keep the plants operating efficiently, and the staffs of all four operations do a very good job with this.
Some of the regulations we're currently watching are the stream protection rule, the moratorium on federal coal leasing, and the changing of liability bond requirements from self-bonding to surety bonding or collateral type bonding. The stream protection rule originated as part of mountaintop removal mining in the Appalachia. Really, the rule does not fit the arid and semi-arid Midwest. The states of North Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, Colorado, Utah, and so forth. We've estimated that it could sterilize up to 60% of our remaining coal reserve. Current status is we expected a final rule in June of 2016. That hasn't happened. I think a large part of that is due to the inadequacies of the rule itself. We try to keep a really positive attitude with regards to our day-to-day activities. It's important for the employees to know that if they continue to do and work hard to provide a low-cost fuel to Basin Electric on a daily basis, and we keep those plants running at the cheapest cheapest bus bar cost, that no matter what else happens, at least we're doing what we can. The two things I think that are really important to understand about the mining operation are safety and reclamation. Our legacy of mining is not going to be necessarily based on the number of tons we've removed to generate cheap electrical power, but our legacy is going to be based on how we left the land when we were done.
Our safety is based on a very simple principle. We make a commitment to our employees that each and every day they can come to work at Coteau and they can go home from their shift every day uninjured. But we expect that same commitment from our employees. We expect them to make a commitment to their families, to their co-workers, and to themselves that they are going to work safely every shift at Coteau.
It's the communication. We're all part of the same team. It's not Coteau, it's not Dakota Coal, it's just we're all on the same team, we're all working to the same goal. One that really stands out is their innovation in dragline maintenance, and Travis Horning, who's the overburden removal maintenance manager, him and Wayne Halvig, one of the dragline supervisors out there, came up with this. They came up with innovation such that they could just come down through the house, through holes in the floor, and replace each segment, spin the dragline and replace it.
So if we would have went with the original idea of how we would have done, how OEM does it, which is lower the boom, jack the machine up, it would have taken 42 days to do that project. And they came up with a price of over $2 million to do the job, and we just didn't think that was economically feasible to do it that way. And we started looking at different ways to do it. And once the other vendor got on board with our project, and we started discussing of how we could accomplish this and save a lot of money and save a lot of time was the big thing, and less people on the project. when we're all done going over the measurements and how it turned out, they're going to start recommending this to other customers.
I believe that serves as a great example of Carroll doing, Coteau's president and his staff, how they get it. They understand their role. They understand their role is to produce economical lignite with all of the different quality parameters for each different station, and how that all rolls together. Well, Wyoming Lime is a division of Dakota Coal. It's located down in Franny, Wyoming, about 70 miles south of Laurel, right on the Montana-Wyoming border. Basin Electric and Dakota Coal, again, we benefit from another great long-standing relationship, and that being Pete Lean and Sons out of Rapid City, South Dakota. We recently put together a draft lime kiln marketing and operating agreement that will extend that partnership for another 10 years. And I personally would like to give a big thanks to Joel Brannon, the Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer, and Dan Michael, the General Marketing and Sales Manager, for their hard work in seeing this agreement finalized. On September 8th, the kiln achieved 3 years without a lost time accident, and we're very proud of that. Just as you heard at Coteau, safety's at the forefront of our everyday activities at the kiln. On August 7th, we achieved 3 millionth ton of lime produced. So we've been producing since January of '93, and we just achieved 3 million tons. So the quarry recently achieved 2 years without a lost time accident. It's a Dakota Coal subsidiary. Again, it's in Warren, Montana, which is just up the road from Franny, about 7 miles. We purchased Montana limestone in the summer of 2002, and that was for the most part to control the quality of the feed stone going to the kiln. We recently were awarded a bid for limestone delivery supply to the Montana Dakota Utilities Heskett Station in Mandan, North Dakota. And it's about a 12,000 ton a year contract. Now, that's not a lot of tons, but for Mike Jones and his fine grind plant, that'll be a 50% increase in what he produces. And that, coupled with a pin mill project that we completed late last year, it's going to greatly enhance his economic bottom lines. At the fine grind plant, with the introduction of the pin mill, and as we get better with how to control that and get more used to it, we believe that there's more opportunities to market more stone out of that fine grind plant. Both Montana Limestone and Wyoming Lime, they know who their customers are, and that's Basin Electric, and they'll do their best to go out and make sure that we do our part in the family.